Help me unbox these items I recently got from China as I share with you how to do repacking. I bet you 99.9% of importers actually think that they know or they understand the concept of repacking because they just purchase their items, send it to the repacking agent for them to put it into a bigger box, and they feel like that is all it is about repacking. I'm going to share with you in this particular video how you can actually be able to do repacking the very right way. If today is your very first time of coming across this channel, I am Doki, and over here we share business tips, we share importation tips on how to make your mini importation a very, very successful one. So if you want to start a business or you just started your importation business, this is the home for you because you are going to get every single thing you need to succeed on this particular channel. Do well to hit on the subscribe button. Now let's get right into the video. Every single item you are seeing over here, I got them on 1688. You guys already remember about the oil that I just unboxed. It's actually oils that I personally use in the house, so I mostly get it from time to time. And these are items that are for me. I have some of my items in it, and others too is for a sister of mine. So these items have actually been repackaged, okay? But we are just going to get right into the repacking tips on how to do repacking the very right way. Now, before you do repacking of your items, there are three basic things that you actually need to consider. The first thing is the weight of the item that you want to repack. So if there are 5 items, you should know the weight of each of those 5 items. The next thing you need to know is to know how that item is packaged. The next one is the size of the item. First one is the weight. Now there are some items that are small but their weight is very high. Items like that, it is not worth repacking it because most of these repacking agents, I am yet to see a repacking agent that is using the CBM, that is like the dimensions of the package, to actually charge for their services. They mostly use the weight of that particular item. If the weight is too high, it is not worth repacking it because at the end of the day, you are going to be paying more for that particular item that you're about to repack. So I always advise that you repack items that their weight is low. Okay, so how do you check for the weight of the item? Now, every single item that you are buying, mostly, especially on the sourcing apps like Once to Say, Pindodo, Idle Fish, and wherever, most of the time when you check the description of those items, it always has the weight of that particular item. Okay, so those of us that we like, but when you just see the item, you don't check anything about the item, you just go ahead to buy, you are sending it to your repacking agents. Please make sure you always check the weight of the item. You don't even need to check the supply, they mostly have the details. If you check in the descriptions of the product, you are going to find the weight of that particular item. Okay, but there are some items that there's no need to even check the weight because at the end of the day, you know that they are very small items like jewelry, earrings, necklace, and all of those. You know that they are very, very tiny items. So there's no really need. But items that you are not really familiar with, always check the weight of that particular item. The other example is items that are metal. Most of the metal items weigh a lot. So if you're also buying items or you want to repack an item that is metal in material, or the material used is metal, you have to also consider that. Now, the next one, that is how the item is packaged. When it comes to how the item is packaged, it depends mainly on the quantity or the MOQ that you are buying. So, for example, let's say that you are buying blenders. You should know how many makes a carton of that particular item. I'm buying blenders and I'm buying 6 of it. And I have already checked and I know that the carton of that particular blender is six. 6 pieces makes a carton of that blender, right? There is no need for me to send that carton to a repacking agent to do whatever repacking on it. But if I don't check and I don't even know that if I buy 6 of that particular item, it is going to be a full carton, that is a full box of that particular item. I'll make the mistake of sending that item to the repacking agent. Some items 3 makes a carton, some 12 makes a carton, some 6 makes a carton, some 20 makes a carton. It depends. So if let's say you are not buying 2 or you are not buying 3 of a particular item or something, you should at least know what makes a full carton of that particular item. I don't know if you are getting me. So that you will not make that mistake of sending a full carton to a repacking agent for them to repack it. I recently saw somebody, and that person sent a particular item. If I get the picture, I will put it over here. The person sent this particular item to a repacking agent. And I'm like, how on earth are they going to pack this? Because it is just one, but it is a full carton on its own. It's just one piece. That is why I'm saying that it depends on the item, every item, and what makes it a full carton, right? So this particular one, like it is sealed, one piece like this is packed in its own box. So there's no need for you to send that particular item to the repacking agent. Okay. Now the next thing is checking the size of the item. Now, when it comes to the size of the item, whether the item is big or it is small, that is what you are just going to check over here. And how do you check this? You should know the dimensions of the item, and this is always provided. Okay. If it is a bag, you will know the dimensions. If it is a fridge, you know the dimensions. Once you know the dimensions, or even sometimes when you just look at it differently, you know that a bag is like quite a bit smaller than a fridge, right? But if you don't know, it is very, very much advisable that you always check the size. Now, once you know the size will now inform the repacking method that you should use. One very big repacking mistake that most people do is that they feel that, okay, I have bought an item that I know that this item is sizable. For example, a fridge, you have bought a freezer. You know, most of those freezers, they are quite sizable, especially those 200, 500 liters freezers. They are very, very big. Then you would feel like, okay, so the space inside, I want to save the space, but the weight of that item too is very, very high. So the mistake most of us do is we'll send that particular item to the repacking agent for them to now pack our other smaller items inside. Then they will now send it to um your shipping company before they will now ship that item down to you. At the end of the day, when you put pen on paper, you realize that you are losing. Recently, I did that type of repacking, and I was advising the people that actually um watched that particular video where I sent a washing machine. The washing machine too, the weight was quite a lot. So I ended up paying a lot at the repacking agent before it got to my shipping agent. So you realize that this particular item that I am unboxing right now, the first item, okay, you can go back and check. The first item was the oil. And the oil, I know that a carton is 2 pieces, right? So since the carton is 2 pieces and these items too, the weight is quite a lot. That's 5 liters oil. So you see, so you realize that these small items, the clothing, the jewelry, the smaller bags, and all of that, I sent those ones to the repacking agent. I bought all of them at the same time, but I sat down and I structured how I wanted to repack them. So I realized that the oils is one carton, so I will not send that to the repacking agent. So the oils will go to my shipping company direct. So when I was buying the items, I made sure that I finished buying all the items that is supposed to go to the repacking agent. Then I changed my address to my own shipping company for the other ones. It is not only these ones, there were other items that came in cartons, but um those items I couldn't do the unboxing on it. So those items went to my shipping company, and these smaller items went there. We say that repacking is good, doesn't mean that every single item is supposed to be repackaged. Sizes. Now, when it comes to the smaller size, most of these items can easily get missing. So if you don't get a good shipping company, they mostly misplace some of these very, very small items. So any small item at all that you are buying, that those are the items that it is quite advisable that you send them to your repacking agent, like these particular items. Some of the suppliers are there that I bought just one, like the slipper like this, I bought just one. Most of those items can easily get missing. So you can send those ones to your repacking agent for them to pack the items and put them together for you. This last tip is for people who are into pre-order. If you are doing pre-order, repacking becomes a bit tricky for you, because imagine these items were pre-order. How am I going to share the shipping fee of the item? I, for example, I have experience in this, so I might know how these items will cost. But those of us who are new, we might not be able. Okay, so when it comes to pre-order, I wouldn't advise a repacking agent for pre-order vendors. That is just my fair opinion. I wouldn't advise repacking because it comes with a whole lot of disorganization. You will not be able to. But make sure that when you are buying the item, you buy at a bit bigger quantity so that your packages can be a bit bigger so that you will not misplace most of your packages. Thanks for watching. If today is your first time of coming across this channel, do well to hit on the subscribe button to join the happy family. I'll be seeing you in my next video. It is bye bye.